Okay, the one on the left here is the one that is semi-done. I've got it sanded down. I've got it in a general shape. Got a little small taper right here at the end. This will be the end that actually goes into the draw knife, and this will be the handle. And this is what I started out with. This is what I wound up with. Now I got to try to get this one to match up to this one. That's why I do when I do two handles like this. I'll do one, and before I finish it off or drill any holes in it or anything like that, I'll do the other one, because I may run into something on this one that it's going to be unavoidable, and I have to go back and fix this one to kind of match this one. So now I got this one done, or you know, semi done anyway. Uh, yeah. So now I start whittling on this one. Alright, we're trying to get this piece to look like that piece. Now it's tapered, like I said, it's tapered a little bit just on this end. Not much, but just a little bit. And see, it's not round, perfectly round. I don't like it perfectly round. I like it where, you know, there's some texture to it, some sort of corner to it where you can grab it. Because this is going on the draw knife, remember, so I'm going to be able to take it and drag it this way. And if you have, it's not round. I could have made it round if I'd have wanted to, but I kind of like it to have some sort of little corner to it so I can grab it and pull it, you know. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this to look like this. I'm trying to get this to look like this. There we go. So, you know, there's a, I'm not exactly sure when this shop time will air, when I'll release it or anything. But right now, out in the Gulf of Mexico, there's a storm brewing out there. Right now, it's just a tropical storm, and I don't think they expect it to get much more than a tropical storm. But I've always kind of been interested in the way things, you know, the origins of words and the origins of meanings and stuff like that, because a lot of times that stuff's just kind of interesting to me. It's kind of like hurricane, you know, where does the word hurricane come from? I mean, it's just not something some king just set up and said, hey, we're going to start calling all these major storms in Atlantic and the Caribbean, we're going to start calling them hurricane. They got to have a reason for naming it that, hurricane. Hurricane comes from the word from the Caribbean Indians, huracan or huracan, and that was the name of their god of evil. The Caribbean Indians, they called it the god of evil, and that was where we get the word hurricane from, which you know, kind of hits home a little bit, you know. It's you got a hurricane pounding down on you. Another one is sincere, the word sincere. Well, the word sincere comes from two Latin words, actually, called sine and ceras. Now, sine and ceras means without wax. Now, how does that translate into sincere? Well, when the Romans would take their pottery and everything, if you had a piece that was cracked or you had an ear that was broken off, what they would do, they didn't have any, where you at? Gorilla Glue. So they would use wax. Well, whenever they would use wax, they'd try to pawn it off as a true piece, as a piece that was pure. Well, other vendors kind of got aware of that, kind of got wind of it, and started offering their pottery that was without wax, and they would call it siniceris, sincere, because their pieces of pottery didn't have wax and some other pieces did. So it was a selling point for their pottery. So we take that word today to mean without, you know, without fault, without flaw. And that's where you get the word sincere from. Now, those are word derivations. So let's talk about a saying. Now, back during a particular period of time, back before medicine really kind of took hold, they thought that Virginia tobacco, which is good, supposed to be, you know, excellent tobacco. They thought Virginia tobacco could cure a lot of things, because if you were upset and you go smoke you a cigar of Virginia tobacco, you'd feel better. Well, anytime somebody had a intestinal malady, what they would do is they thought that Virginia tobacco could cure all ills. So what they would do is they would take a horn, a tin horn, and yeah, that looks pretty good. They would take a tin horn. If you had a stomach or an upset stomach or the dreaded D word, diarrhea. If you had an upset stomach or anything, they believed that Virginia tobacco could cure that as well. So what they do is they take a tin horn, which is like a funnel, a metal funnel, and they take the nara, in and stick it in your tail. Well, the big end would be outside, and what they do is they'd sit there and be smoking cigars and blow that smoke into the funnel. Well, that smoke was supposed to go into the funnel and go back up to your bowels and in your stomach, and it's supposed to cure whatever malady that, you know, may befall you, I guess. It didn't work. I mean, that's not, you know, something that's, you know, disputed. But that's, you know, after a while it got to be where it was a really stupid idea, and everybody kind of agreed on it. So anytime you're trying to pull something over on somebody and it doesn't really work, and people see it way ahead of time, they say, you know, don't be blowing no smoke up my butt. That's where that saying come from. Everybody knew that it didn't really work after a few times, and they tried it and it didn't work. That's where the word "don't blow no smoke up my butt" comes from. And don't act like you ain't heard that before, because you know you heard it before. Don't blow no smoke up my tail. Everybody alive's heard that saying before. Now you got this guy over here trying to blow smoke up my butt. Now I ain't taking that. Well, that's where it came from. You can blame the Virginians. Now, I got to try to get this shade down to handle shape. Sometimes that grain will bite in a different direction. Oh crap, where'd that thing go? Thing shot clear across the room. Alright, well, we're going to work on this handle some more. We're going to try to get it shaped out and rounded. I may turn it back on a little bit when I'm doing the file, because it's got a file in it. Really helps out a good little bit. Dang, I didn't mean to go that high. I would tell you that I could take my hands and just put it on there and pull back and then it'd be round like I want it to be, but then I'd be blowing smoke up your tail.